SSC Paul Goodfellow, RAF Gunner Diaries, Week 6. Week 6, I'm now back at Lossiemouth, but what I'm going to talk about is what I got up to in my final third week at down at Sennybridge Camp on exercise cheetah strike. As I said last week in the video diary, the first 2 weeks consisted of us as the junior lads on the squadron getting my skills and drills up to speed to then go on to flight level tactics. We began week 3 basically at Sennybridge with a defensive shoot from fire trenches. So what this consisted of was the lads basically working as a section, an 8-man section, in a number of trenches and carrying out a defensive shoot against enemy targets who could be coming towards. Obviously, they were just pull-ups for the instance of training. Before the shoot, though, the lads made out range cards, and what I mean by a range card was basically giving the arcs of fire and permanent points on the ground. It's quite important that as junior lads we can give accurate fire control orders to our section commanders and fire team commanders, and it was all about gaining practice doing this, and that was the main purpose in the shoot. We then moved on to a little bit of fibula, and what I mean by fibula is fighting in built up areas. So we basically dressed into a house, a building, hardened shelter, whatever you want to call it, and we carried out a defensive shoot from the building, once again giving out fire control orders and brassing up targets. It's always good fun, a bit of fibula. It's nice to get inside a building, especially if it's raining and it's windy outside, and in this instance it definitely was. We then moved on to the final flight attack, which was absolutely fantastic. It was basically 30 plus gunners going down the range as a flight. The whole point is so we could understand how flight level tactics work and where every man plays his part. I've done a little bit of this in the past, but you can never do enough of it as an RAF Regiment gunner. Training never stops, and if it ain't raining, it ain't training. That's one of the sayings. But on this particular day, it wasn't raining, but it was definitely wet enough to miss the rain in this instance, because we're wading through rivers up to waistbands. I remember one point that I was smashing ice in the water to get through, but as you can see, the lads are leopard crawling, throwing live grenades, firing from a number of different positions, and really doing the business going down the range. This is great days, as a flight sergeant likes to call it, getting wet, dirty and exhausted. So the flight level tactic day was great. We then moved on to final confirmation exercise, where we moved out onto the ground and stayed overnight in a farm building. We had a good laugh along the way, the troops having a good laugh and stuff, just making the best out of a bad situation, if you like. And obviously, the following morning consisted of a hike in and carrying out another range, another flight level range, just to make sure we got the drills and skills in our head. We'd done it twice. So yeah, an excellent third week, a great training package that the squadron provided for us, and I'm sure you'll all agree from what you can see that we had a good time, even though it was a little bit wet and dirty. We also had the lads from Support Weapons Flight firing mortars in. Support Weapons is basically the flight who consist of 51 Squadron mortarmen. They were in a different location to us as we were advancing down the range, doing the gravel belly stuff, crawling into position and firing with rifles and light machine guns. Support Weapons were basically, before we advanced down the range, they were firing mortars in, and we like to call the phrase softening up the target before we go down and clear the area on foot. So I'm sure the mortar lads got a lot out of it as well. Some of the lads on there are new to the mortar business, so to carry out the shoot for them is obviously a good thing, making sure that on the other side of the hill they were getting their skills and drills correct as well. And it's always nice as a rifleman when you're advancing towards a range, when you can see mortars landing and going in, to think, yeah, the enemy's going to be softened up and we can go in and clean up, but it still don't make it any easier. Them cardboard targets still seem to pop up everywhere. So again, flight level tactics, a great week, and a good final point to the training exercise, and hopefully the lads now can carry out them skills and drills correctly that they've learned in the past 3 weeks. Hopefully we'll get some new fire team commanders, maybe section commanders on the squadron, and the lads can take this training away and look forward to pre-deployment training for the next deployment to wherever that may be.